Joining me now for the remainder of the program is Abdoulie Sanyang, a young man, relatively young man, who, like most Gambians out there in the diaspora, was forced out of his country many years ago by the cruelty of former dictator Yahya Jammeh. He had been a member of the Gambia's armed and security forces. Abdoulie, welcome to Coffee Time with Peter Gomez.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for having me.
Good to see you. Tell us, a bit about your story.
Peter, good to have you. Greetings to all of you, my fellow Gambians. This is Abdoulie Sanyang once more, as I always say. Gambia, where we belong. That's our motherland. I served Gambia from school normally, primary to the high school, and then I joined the Gambia National Army. And
what year was that?
That was in 1991. Then in 1991, for our recruiting, we are transferred to Yundum Barracks. And from Yundum Barracks, then I was selected as a communication radio operator. From radio operation, then we finally have the NATA group, the Nigerian NATA group, assistant group came to Gambia at the time of Dawda Jawara. Then we have to reorganize the army, then to reset the army to a full-fledged military force. Then we have the administrative center at the Banjul at Marina Parade. We did the administrative course with the Nigerians. We were the first administrative clerks being set up to set up the army, to reset the army for a full-fledged operated armed force. Then we have the administration center at Banjul at Marina Parade. Before, in the time of Dawda Jawara, all the administration was based at the Yundum Barracks as the 1 infantry battalion. But after Jawara sees that the army, and we have to reorganize the army, then he set the administration in Banjul. Then the Nigerians came. Then they restructured the battalions. They have battalion in one infantry battalion in Yundum, 2 in Farafenye, 3 in Bakau, and the 4th one now finally in Basse. So this is how things were set up. And then I was centrally working with the central administration of the armed forces.
Okay, and then 1994 came the military coup.
Very well, and that's what the army found itself, that the first chance, the Gambian National Army, to take the administration of this country with the trust of our people. Then there were 33 years of in power, so gallant soldiers of our own people from the army, led by Yahya Jammeh. But we normally say led by Basiru Balo. Yahya Jammeh came to the being at the final course. But normally, from the initial planning, Barrow was supposed to be the leader. Then we came up, Sana Sabali is here, he's alive, he's hearing me, Edward and Peter. Then we finally...
Edward Singate
and Peter Singate. Yeah, and we have very good brothers who are soldiers who are very committed to see a positive change, as we are committed to change the system of the Daura dictatorship of 33 years. Then we finally took the power, and if people can remember, it took a sort of time, almost a week, before we can have a chairman to lead the council. So
why was that?
There was a bit of push and pulling, and who was supposed to be the leader. Sana, Edward, and Peter were much closer to Yahya Jammeh, so they finally select the council with Yahya Jammeh and to be the council leader. And that time, Yankuba Toure was in Farafenye. He finally came and joined us in Banjul. And this time, the early morning of 22nd July, we were the first guys to enter the State House. And we through the garden from the School of Nursing. That time, there was only a fence. So we jumped and occupied the State House. And we conceal ourselves with the camouflaging of the State House until our men from Yundum came up to Denton Bridge. We were having a lot of stoppage there. Chongan and his team, the General Mori, were defending the Jawara government at that time. But finally, we overcome them. We entered our team from Yundum Barracks, came down to Banjul. They found us there. And we finally took over the State House. Then Dawda Jawara was taken out of the State House to the seaport. Then he joined the ship there.
If you said Barrow was supposed to be the
coup leader,
the coup leader, why was he, not in the mix when they were discussing leadership?
Yeah, and this is that brought, in fact, November 11. And we Gambians, I think that's why we have to elaborate on this very much. Gambians should stop backstabbing each other. People who initially create the job, Gambians believe you can do the job, and finally, who is sitting at the next corner will come and take over the cake. And that's what happened to us even in 2016 as Barrow in the office at this moment.
Let's go back to 1994. Before
and
we come to
1994, and this is how the discussions were not fully in touch with one another. So there was a fraction within ourselves, within our officer corps, whom supposed to be the co-leader. And Barrow initiated. And the initiation was long time been planning. And Basiru Barrow was the instrumental than any of them. And we all believe, we the soldiers in the barracks, we believe that, Barrow supposed to be the co-leader. He's the one who initiated. We all talk about it as a soldier.
He initiated the coup attempt, right?
The coup attempt, yes, sir.
But who led
the coup?
The coup itself.
The whole, Barrow is part of it. Sana Sabali is very instrumental. He's the one in charge of West Coast here, the power stations and the radio stations, the operation and the Abuko art station. Sana was in charge of the West Coast here. Then Edward and Peter and we, some of the soldiers, we are entrusted to Banjul at the State House. This is how we divided.
So where was Basiru Barrow?
Basiru was finally, he was with Sana Sabali and going to control most of the battalions, and he was the base controller of the movement of the soldiers. Then he came with us finally to Banjul, but he came late, and like Yaya Jammeh also, because he came.
Yaya Jammeh came late?
Yeah, he came because we divide ourselves into factions, so that in case of any ambush or any other military attack or so, then we can able to conceal ourselves to overcome it.
Okay, so where was Yaya stationed?
Yaya he came with the soldiers. He came with the soldiers from Yundum Barracks. At that time, he was the military police commander. He came with the soldiers. Then the first team to enter Banjul, he came with the last team. So Edward and Peter, and they were in the frontage of the State House. So some young soldiers of us, like me, we jumped from the fence to enter to the State House. This is how things went through.
So how come some of you decided Yaya Jammeh, deserved being the coup leader and subsequently the head of state?
Thank you, sir. And I'm a young soldier, obviously. The officer corps, we have in the army, we have chain of command, and the officers corps discuss most of the issues that will govern all of us. So as we go into terms and conditions of service, the seniority goes, and we goes into this. So the officers corps have a special meeting. We have several meetings at the State House there, at the first floor. I was, in fact, one of the meetings. I was one of the guards there. So things were discussed. It takes 2-3 days, almost 5 days, before we have finally picked Yaya Jammeh to be the chairman of the council.
What tipped the balance in his favor? Why did he come out as the one chosen?
Right, sir. And the Sana Sabali is one of the instrumental guy. Edward is also another guy. Passing that we are much pressed with Yaya Jammeh to be the leader. Because many of our senior officers, they withdrew from the coup. They knew the coup. One like Momar Cham, the president CDS now.
Oh.
Yeah, Omar Faye. They all withdraw. Omar Faye was not here. He was in the U.S. I'm the one who brought that communication to the Minister of Foreign Affairs for him to come back. We need him here because there's a change of state of affairs. So he's supposed to come back home. But he refused to come. Omar Faye refused. Momar Cham, the president CDS, he never appeared. And many of our officers refused to come. Like Conte also was on course at that time, but finally he came back home. Babkar Jatta never come, he never participated, but eventually.
Don't you think they did the right thing, realizing that soldiers are not meant to topple a democratically elected government as you people did? That was treasonable, and if the coup had failed, I mean, you all would have gone to the gallows, and people would have said rightly so.
I don't think so. I don't think so. Military we goes with a command structure. If the seniorities withdraw, the young soldiers will take over. They maintain the command is their fundamental responsibility to see that our soldiers under command to be well structured to go into whatever administration or whatever step we are going to take about the state affairs, the seniority must be intact. So despite they don't want to participate in the coup, but the young officers, they are all part of the officers' corps. So decision makers, we always say one soldier man die, another soldier man take over. This is the principle we apply it in the army. So if the senior officers refuse to participate in the state of affairs, obviously young officers will take over.
Okay.
And,
So you guys settled on Yaya Jammeh as the leader.
As the leader.
What happens, or what happened next? Did you now start going out to look for the ones who were meant to be part of the coup and decided at the last minute to pull out?
Yeah, those last minute pull out, like Omar Cham, we went and arrested him from his house. All of them, most of the senior officers, we went for them and we arrest them because that's a threat to the coup. When there's a military coup, most of the senior officers refuse to appear. It's our security of our men and the country not to have a counter coup. So the threat to there, so most of the senior officers, they knew much of the army. Then we have to go and apprehend them and bring them to a control center. Most of them we are taken to Mile 2. And we have, this is how things went. Mwacham is one of them. How to call it? Jongani was one of them. You come to the other guy, many of them, like Babkar Jatta and so. Okay. Yeah. But Babkar Jatta was not arrested. He was asked to report to army headquarters.
Well, he went on to become CDS eventually.
Good. Right, sir. Right, sir.
Okay, so after arresting all these senior officers, just to minimize the risk of a counter coup
and threats,
and then what happened next?
Then we tried to restructure ourselves. Jammeh, the army. I work with the administration with the central administration at the army headquarters.
As what?
As a clerk typist and an administrator. Then we finally restructured the army. That time was general duty. So I was in fact stationed at the State House at that time. I was among the first guards to Yaya Jammeh. So finally, when we settled down, the tempo cool down, then we distribute the soldiers. We bring a list of the postings to distribute our soldiers, checkpoints, strategic locations. Then the rest went back to their respective places. People like us back to the office and the radio communication. Then we have to control all over the country to our borders, that we see that our coup is in place.
You had started on what brought about November 11 before I stopped you.
Yes,
Let's
sir.
go to November 11. What brought it about?
November 11 was a strong disagreement. Within the command. Most of them, they have found that Yaya Jammeh have a very few, like Sana Sabali and Edward, they hijack our coup of collective job. So they have picked up their own team to lead the coup, while most of the officers were not happy about this. So Samsar, I can remember Samsar also, he was there. He was the liaison officer at that time.
He will be keenly listening to you as you speak.
Yeah. He was the liaison officer at that time at the Minister of Defense at the State House. So he was not arrested. But finally, he was been after arrested. So because we have threats from most of the senior officers that they want to counter coup.
Including from Mr. Sar?
Sar, yeah. Oh. We have that intelligence of him. That he's
this is just intelligence?
No, it's intelligence. It's real.
Oh.
Yeah, it's real. And most of them were arrested. And November 11 with Basira Balo, Jibril Sey, Fafanyang, you name them. Dotfal. And Dotfal is one of them. I remember this brother. My heart is heavy. Sorry about it.
It's okay.
He trained me in Farafenye. Very good soldier, a gallant soldier. He did most of the strategic operation of the coup. And Nancho Mane, these are our instruments. They are the senior NCOs at that time, promising officers who took over the responsibility of the coup. They made the operation, not Yaya Jammeh or any other. Sana was instrumental, Peter and Edward, but our senior NCOs like Nancho, Jibril Sey, Fafanyang, and
NCO is non-commissioned officer.
Commissioned officers. So these are the non-commissioned officers who are much structured with the army, with the policies and the planning of any operation. So they set up the army, they set up the operation. So they finally, Lantombon Tamba was at the State House that time, Musa Jammeh, these were under Zandarmori. Yaya Jammeh came until we set up the thing. So we, the Gambian National Army, we are pushed outside. So that brought the November 11 coup. disagreements come mounted between ourselves. Then most of our soldiers were gone down. It's hard to say, very hard to say.
Including Dotfal.
Dotfal.
And why are you so emotional at the mention of the name Dotfal?
I knew them from my heart. They trained me in the army. And these are the men Gambia taxpayers have been spent on them. I'm sorry.
It's all right.
They are ready to serve our people, to protect our institutions like an army, that we need not to lose such type of people who did a good job to see Dawda Jawara's dictatorship 33 years, push on polling with the PPP militants to who should take over from him, from Sego Sabali to Bibi Dabo. So that fragment was in our government administration. So that pushed the army to take over. So if at all we to put that message to our people, we took over the country. We don't think that our men who sacrificed their life to bring that change for our people should be gone down in such a brutal way. Such a brutal way. Fajara barracks was so serious. Most of them have been slaughtered in Fajara barracks, gone down in broad daylight, early morning.
You used terrible words to describe what happened to them. Gone down, slaughtered. Were they tied up?
They were tied up. Most of them were tied up. Sanyang, he suffered a lot. Sanyang suffered a lot.
Was he tortured before he was
tortured?
Finally...
They were obstructed. Edward is one of them. Peter is one of them.
They perpetrated this on their victims.
They head the operation to Fajara barracks. Then after because that time Basiru Barrow was in charge of, they removed him from Yundum barracks, and they brought him to army headquarters. That time I was a clerk typist at the army headquarters, collecting intelligence. I'm part and parcel of it. So working in the office, I see all correspondence and all discussions among the staff officers. Then I was an instrument for the coup. So Basiru Barrow, after the suspect of him about the November 11, they deployed him to army headquarters as a staff officer. But he doesn't occupy the office. He was all the time sitting down, 2 packs of cigarette. He will smoke it in an hour. He continues smoking, coming out. He doesn't sit in the office.
Was that because he was frustrated?
No, he was frustrated.
Responsibilities were taken away from him.
Taken from him, and the threat he have, because the suspect is there, that he
knew his life was under threat.
Under threat. And Babukar Jata is part of this. Babukar Jata supposed not to
be what or do what?
He's supposed not to participate, that Basiru Barrow was supposed to be eliminated, because Basiru Barrow, Babukar Jata was saying that his name was among the list of the officers when November 11 succeeded. Those are the people supposed to be killed. So they overcome our soldiers who performed the coup, and who put the Jame in office, who planned the coup from the initial stage, and who trained most of our soldiers in color today. And these are the gallant soldiers we remember in our lifetime. In our lifetime. They can never be forgotten.
This is very emotional for you.
Thank you, sir.
Did you appear before the TRRC?
I don't appear. And we did most of the investigation, me and Panderimbai.
What investigation?
We report
not for the TRRC.
Not for the TRRC, but TRRC carried our reports, what we have investigated. Panderi being a good brother of mine, a journalist, a very determined somebody, a son of this country. I'm very proud of all the journalists, what the job they have done. But Panderi is one of them, single out. He was been threatened here in the Gambia here by Jame, and he flew to America. So we linked, because I knew him when he was a security at the RVTH. Then he worked with the Point newspaper, then the Voice, I don't know, the other newspaper with Demba Jao, and so.
The Independent?
The Independent, Thank you. So finally he came to US, and that's the time I also was being detained, involved in a coup, Tapul Jame, so the coup failed. Then I was detained in Bambadinka. And
is that the December 30th attempt?
No, that's not the December 30th. Okay. That is with Alaji Kante, former Commissioner Alaji Kante,
okay.
With Lalo Jete, the ADC to Yaya Jame, and that Italian who was the head of the security of Yaya Jame at that time.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let's just go back to the TRRC. Why did you not appear before the TRRC? You could have done it virtually.
Virtually, I went there. I came here. I went to TRRC. They are just behind you here. I was being interviewed, giving my statements, what I knew and what I went through. But finally, SFL never called me.
Okay, you never appeared in public.
Never appeared.
All right.
Yeah.
We have to go back a bit because
Yes, sir.
I think we have jumped a few steps by talking about the TRRC.
Yes, sir.
Because you ended up, fleeing the country yourself.
Yes, sir.
Why did you have to flee?
I was being arrested.
You were arrested?
I was arrested.
What year was that? Can you remember?
That was in the year 2000. 1999, 2000.
Okay.
Yeah, so we have a plan. Obviously, it's a coup. I will never lie to my people. It was a coup plan.
Oh.
Yeah, it was a coup plan. Together, Abdoulie Sanyang, Alaji Kante, the former commissioner of North Bank. Baba Job was part of this. Maybe many Gambians never know. Soldao is part of this. Maybe many Gambians don't know. Lalo Jete, Omar Dabo, Ibrahim Yabo, you name them. So we are the people being arrested for this. But many of them have been arrested earlier than I, because that time I left the army, working with the American embassy as a surveillance detective, and that's the time I was being arrested, serving the American embassy.
Why did you leave the army?
This scramble, unfortunate incidences, disappointments from we the Gambians, backstabbing. Jammeh failed our state, Jammeh failed our country.
How?
We promised the Gambian people for 2 years transition. We returned the country back to the people who are meant for governance. We are there to defend the integrity of our people and our borders. So if at all Jammeh refused and enforced himself to our power, with my integrity, I can never serve under him, be the president and the
Well, you served under him for 4 years. You left in 2000, wasn't it?
No, I left earlier.
When did you leave?
I
When
left
did
in
you go to-
1997.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I left earlier. I work in the administration. I see all correspondence and Jammeh's plans and all radio signal operations, intelligence, what we gather. Then I left the army. I finally left the administration, then to military police. In the military police, I know what the operations are, and I know the internality of Jammeh's intentions, what he's planning to reform the army. Most of our people have been dismissed. Some have been killed in November 11. Some have disappeared. We don't even know somehow where they are buried. So with that unfortunate situations, despite sitting in the office, what's the office? It's the people. So I left the army. I sacrificed. I resigned honorably, nobly. Babakar Jara said, in fact, he will not sign my file, that I was an instrument that I supposed to serve the army. I've been trained enoughly to protect to serve the institution. But my conscience can never take such a leadership to be part of it. I can never take it. Thank you, sir.